Nigeria has launched a phased transition plan from open grazing to modern ranching, aiming to reduce farmer-herder conflicts and modernize livestock production. This move comes just as the country's Minister of Livestock Development, Mukhtar Maiha, clarified this week that open grazing has not been banned, but the government is now implementing a gradual, structured transition to ranching. The goal, you may ask, to modernize livestock production, reduce deadly farmer-herder conflicts, and create a more sustainable livestock economy. The country currently has 273 gazetted grazing reserves covering over 4.5 billion hectares. The plan is to revitalize and equip these reserves in partnership with state governments, providing pastoralists with viable alternatives to nomadic herding. Open grazing has been linked to violent clashes, especially in the Middle Belt and southern states. Will this transition plan help address the problem? Now, joining us for this discussion is the Director General, Nigeria Young Farmers Network, Promise Amaha. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me, and good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning. So now the conversation and the concern with open grazing has been one about many who argue that it is a foundation to part of the issues we have in terms of farmer-herder conflicts, as well as looking at the fact that we should be moving to what global best practices should uphold. So let's get your thoughts first about open grazing and how it is being implemented in Nigeria.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that we're still doing open grazing in Nigeria in 2025. That's an obsolete practice, and unfortunately, it has become a recipe for the disaster we are now experiencing across the country, especially at subnational level. So it's old-fashioned, it's unproductive, it doesn't bring out the best in the value chain, the cattle value chain, which is worth billions of dollars. And we shouldn't be doing open grazing in 2025 when we have options like modern ranching and micro cottage industries from the value chain. So just keeping it simple, open grazing is obsolete, old-fashioned, and should not be talked about, not even now in 2025 in Nigeria.
If I get you correctly, it's something that we shouldn't even look into, as you rightly mentioned, but we're still practicing it till today. Do you think everyone, especially when I mean everyone, I'm talking about the northern state, Middle Belt, do you think they'll be open to this idea, or do you think it's going to be a hard one to actually change the stance from open grazing to ranching?
Well, on a lighter note, speaking about the demography I represent, you could now see that young herdsmen across the country, especially in the northern region, are now mostly on TikTok. They are now on social media. That shows you clearly the willingness and interest in modern transition to more modern practices that will enable not just the herdsmen, but everybody, the stakeholders within the value chain. So I think basically the challenge is lack of public trust and confidence. We're here to embed that inclusiveness within the value chain to be able to elicit the necessary and much needed public trust and confidence across all critical players within the value chain. So I'm very, very confident that if a proper strategic communication through public enlightenment program is deployed around the northern area to enhance the capacity and knowledge of herdsmen, I think basically they will be able to migrate really quickly to what not just only works for them, but improves their livelihood, enhances their income, and also makes them better for it economically. So that's basically what I think. It's a major gap between public enlightenment and capacity building, and also a deliberate effort by government to improve infrastructure, right? Improve infrastructure and then market modern ranching, modern cattle management to this crop of guys that we have now. And within a short period of time, the transition will happen. They're already very technology savvy and interested in technology, as you can see, practically. So I'm not sure there will be a challenge in that transition, as the case may be.
So you speak about what these benefits are for us to keep up with modern best practices, and you speak about why we shouldn't be talking about open grazing in 2025. But is there a consideration about the fact that there are those who would tell you that open grazing is a part of their culture and a part of their tradition, and that kicking against that is strongly kicking against the fabrics of what makes them a people?
Yeah, so that's why if you remember, I mentioned and emphasized the need for public trust and confidence in building the general consensus around it. So culture in itself even evolves. Once the people see good intention and good purposes, and you have that, you galvanize that public trust and confidence, of course, basically they would be able to, so part of the original culture was not to handle mobile phones or to utilize mobile phones. But these folks are on TikTok, they're on social media, they're on Instagram, they're active. They've been able to evolve into modern technology, embracing modern technology. So I think basically it's a matter of having a balancing act, making sure that, introducing modern technology that will enhance their livelihood, enhance their processes, they see it as not equal to their, or not, poses no negative threats to their original cultures. And they can easily evolve. A lot has changed over time. So this whole issue of culture and being fixated on the cultural norms and how people would feel about their culture being interrupted as a result of introducing modern technologies can only be nuanced with proper confidence building, public enlightenment, and hand-holding them through the process of migration into what will work for them, not just in the short term, but obviously in the long term.
Okay. I'm fully aware, and Nigerians also have heard of the Ministry of Livestock Development that was created by the current administration. I just want to find out from you, have farmers, everyone in agriculture, has there been any benefit since this ministry was created? Have you benefited at all from this ministry? And then we also hear that the minister, Mr. Maiha, said he was going to create it was going to take a few hectares of land in different parts of the country. Take, for instance, 500 hectares from the Middle Belt to create an opportunity for ranching. So have you heard of anything concerning this? And have you benefited at all since the ministry was created?
Well, I'm not holding brief for the minister, but I've been privileged to be invited to several of their stakeholder engagements. And I must say that this is an impressive minister that understands what needs to be done. After his appointment and in his rollout, he has engaged stakeholders across board to pick the minds of, he's an inclusive minister, a minister that believes in inclusion, in developing an organic program that will work for everybody. And that's what is needed, basically. So in stakeholder mobilization, I think you'd score this minister an A, because he's gone across the country engaging with various demographic of stakeholders, young farmers like us, cattle herders, local farmers, value chain actors across board, and has been consistently doing this back-to-back, gathering baseline information that will enable implementation of the National Livestock Transformation Plan and also the Presidential Livestock Initiative. So I'm really impressed with what the minister is doing, and it's a bottom-top approach. It's building a firm foundation that will sustain any initiative, unlike what we've had in the past. And that is very, very impressive. Coming to the point of implementation, yes, we have started to see consultations. A lot of MOUs have been signed with private sector on ranch development. Lands have been set aside through collaborative effort of government and private sector for issues. And we hope to see in the coming weeks and months a more concerted efforts into amplifying the value chain, because I'm more concerned about how you market the plan, right? And that's what builds confidence, both in the private sector, young people, and especially because of these conflicts, in the farmer head conflicts that's existing now. So basically, we're seeing a minister that is that understands the challenge and the job that needs to be done, with also a very capable permanent secretary trying to reposition this sector, and we're here to see it. Just to also chime in about it, we need to also, kind of balance the whole conversation about the cattle value chain or the livestock value chain, because a lot is done on the consumption side of things. For example, on the average, Lagos consumes about 5,000 cattle heads daily, only Lagos State. And this is an average because, of course, the Lagos Butcher Association has that as 5,000, but now it has dropped because of conflict to 3,000. The Lagos State government has their own figure at 6,000 cattle heads daily. And the general information is that at optimum, they are doing 7,000. But let's take a 500 benchmark, 5,000 benchmark, and look at what we are doing in the livestock industry. That projection helps you to think out loud on the opportunity for job creation, opportunity for enhancing our livestock value chain, and you see things a bit differently. 5,000 cattle heads daily for 30 days in a month. These guys are doing 150,000 cattle. So per annum, on the average, Lagos is consuming 1.8 million cattle annually. And that's just the state. And this is strictly consumption. The consumable and non-consumable byproducts are not even factored into this conversation, not at all. Nobody is talking about the huge opportunity of FBS, the fetal bovine serum, which is a critical component for pharmaceutical and medical development that is in high demand. That can earn us foreign exchange, for goodness sake. It can earn us good money, because it's used for vaccine productions, it's used for various medical and pharmaceutical productions, as the case may be. Nobody's talking about tallows. Tallows is fat that comes from this livestock, from cattle, that can be used for production of candles, soaps, and even, for goodness sake, cooking oils.
All right.
So, this is the area where I expect and I want to see and engage with the Ministry of Livestock Development to kind of create more public enlightenment, to make this more exciting across the value chain by looking at both the value-added products and the value chain in itself. Introduce cottage abattoirs. We know these are the issues that we want to see beyond just going to set aside land for grazing and building modern grazing and feedlots and the rest of them. There's more to this. We need a more holistic approach to be able to develop the livestock industry.
Thank you very much for sharing these suggestions for the Ministry of Livestock. When we come back, I want us to take the conversation to a slightly different angle, looking at what opportunities there are for those interested in exploring a career path in agriculture. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still exploring the livestock industry, the transition from open grazing to a more modern system of ranching. And we're joined this morning by the Director General, Nigeria Young Farmers Network, Promise Amaha. Thank you very much, Promise, for staying with us. Now let's talk about what opportunities lie ahead, or what opportunities there are in the industry, in the farming space, or in the livestock space for young aspiring farmers, for those who already are there, for those looking to go there. Because for the longest time, if I remember, we've been talking about diversification of the economy, and one of the sectors that have been, put forward as an industry that can be used to diversify our economy is agriculture. So what opportunities would you say exists within this space, and how can young farmers as well as aspiring young farmers, take advantage of these opportunities?
So basically, the opportunities I'm going to be talking about are not the usual opportunities like that from production to consumption, but some more unconventional opportunities that young people can immediately take advantage of. Young people are content creators and doing so well in the social media space. Digital optimization, digital value chain optimization within the livestock industry provides a huge opportunity. And sometimes all you just need to have as a capital is information about available livestock in different locations. Facilitating business linkage is a function of information. So information is the most important capital when you look at the livestock value chain, as the case may be. Beyond that, at the primary end of things, you look at what you need to support cattle production or livestock production, including the animal feed, vaccines, and the rest of it that are necessary to produce the cattle and the livestock to table for consumption. And beyond that, again, you have multiple opportunities in like the areas I mentioned. If you're a biomedic, because what we're doing in Nigerian Farmers Network is beyond the traditional. It's helping young people see the bigger picture, that you don't need to be a headsman to be part of the billion-dollar livestock industry. That as a biomedic and as a trained pharmacist, opportunities that earn you millions of dollars are available in this around the byproducts of livestock, both consumable and non-consumable byproducts, right? In animal feed production, for example, one of the critical components is the bone meals and the blood meals. And if you go to most of the abattoirs across the country, it's very insightful to see what happens and how they do away with the blood that comes out of the livestock during slaughter and stuff like that. But a smart young entrepreneur that understands the market of blood meal, for example, for livestock feed production, takes advantage of it and decides to collect this blood and process it as blood meal for livestock production. And that keeps, let me illustrate so that vividly we can be able to internalize these things, especially for the young people listening to me right now, because this is what we're about to partner with the Nigerian Livestock, Federal Ministry of Livestock Development, to go an all-out public enlightenment national campaign across the country, so that we are able to unbundle these things for young people to see, to make not just only agriculture attractive, but to unlock the opportunities, to show the opportunities, to connect young people to the opportunities that we're talking about in the value chain, right? So, I was going to also now emphasize on the other opportunities beyond the blood meal, the bone meal, and the table. Connecting these headers. Dairy is a big area, for goodness sake. Processing dairy into yogurt and into other consumables that we have as milk in Nigeria is a huge opportunity that can be achieved through, what we call micro livestock development, right? In collaboration with the guys already producing and rearing this cattle, right? In the cosmetic area, you have huge opportunities that you can also unlock the value chain and value-added services from livestock to support the cosmetic industry, to support the pharmaceutical industry, to support the medical industry in serum production, the tallows for cooking oil, plethora of opportunities, so we don't get fixated on consumption alone as the only opportunity. The livestock industry has so much potential that can take a lot of our young people out of joblessness and unemployment. It could reduce the current issue of unemployment we're having across the country. But we need to reimagine it. We need to embark on a strategic communication program that will start to show young people and teach them what can be done effortlessly and connect them to the markets that are available. Connecting them to the markets are very, very, very important. So, from pre-production, like I mentioned, you have the opportunities for further production. We have grasses that are grown within a short period of time that young people can take advantage of and, go into the business of production, further production to support the livestock industry. We have the vaccines and the medicine required for livestock support, livestock health management. And again, you go from there to connecting information, connecting markets, livestock connecting markets. Like, for example, Lagos is consuming 1.8 million cattle every year. The economics of that is insane. The opportunities are insane. De-emphasizing that this is just consumption and looking at how you can explore the byproducts, consumable and non-consumable byproducts from 1.8 million cattle that in itself consumes. So using Lagos State as a case study, if there's a partnership between the Nigerian young farmers and the Lagos State government, for example, we start to make more sense and generate more opportunity, income, and potential from what they consume in a year. 1.8 million cattle that can support the animal feed industry, that can support cooking oils, that can support the production of candles, that can support pharmaceutical services, and the rest of them. I know Lagos is blessed with the opportunity that you can easily also facilitate export because of its positioning. So you can only just best imagine the innumerable opportunities and jobs that can be created for young people within the southwestern region of Nigeria, just leveraging on what only Lagos consumes in a year. That's 1.8 million cattle. I have not talked about the heights and scheme potential. What can be done with the heights and scheme for most of our young people that are into
fashion,
later works, and the rest of them. So it's limitless, and this is a good time and a good opportunity to not embark on decentralizing the value chain, providing information for young people to see instant, just a phone call away, just an information away, and your income is guaranteed. You have access to sustainable livelihood through the livestock industry.
Well, I think you've said every single thing we need to hear. And looking at this, hopefully, we always like to end hopefully with the word hopefully. It will be actually used for the advantage of every single Nigerian. But then again, the security issues, as you've highlighted, can equally be solved when certain things are put in place. Thank you so much for talking to us, and thanks for taking time out to speak with us. We've been actually having this conversation. We've been talking to the Director General, Nigeria Young Farmers Network, Mr. Promise Amaha. Thanks for your time.